Welcome to RV Adventuring and our new Travato. First, you'll find that it's different than the Sprinters. It's a manual door. Watch your fingers. All right, we're gonna walk in. I've already got the awning open. Go ahead, Brooke, and zoom into the switches. So we've got up here the awning in and out. I'm gonna pull it on in. That's the awning light. We've got the coach on and off, and we've got the lights for here is this switch here. Okay, go, Brooke, watch the awning go up. Okay, coming back down here. If you lose all power to the entire coach, it's probably because you accidentally touched this one. This disconnects all of the power to the coach. So your lights, your refrigerator, nothing's working. It's probably because that has been flipped off. These plugs right here, always remember, these will only work if you're plugged in or the generator is running. All right, let's go ahead and walk on in. We've got a fun little table here, kind of like your airline table. And since we're up in the front, we're gonna go up. Brooke, go ahead and go in front, and I'm gonna show you how to turn the seats around. So it's this right here. Now there's one on each side. There's this side, and then there's one on the other side. The one on the other side is the tilt. A lot of people won't even see it because it doesn't even look like a lever. And then back down here, that one allows you to turn the seat around. Okay, these seats do need to be faced forward, otherwise it won't even let you go into drive. You'll be stuck in park mode. So make sure these are straight when you're driving. Since Brooke is up here already, we're gonna walk over this funky but fun window covering. It clicks in right here. And it clicks in right there. And then slides up. Slide down. Now, if these aren't completely covered and down, it puts off this horrible sound on the ignition. So make sure this is all down. That wire connects, and I don't even think it lets you go into drive if that's not up. Okay, moving on back to the back. You got some storage in the front. These are the covers for the windows.
For the side door windows.
Right, up here, the side and the front, these would be the covers. All right, you've got push, open, and then we've got dishes and all kinds of stuff that you'll need.
Pans, mugs.
Make sure they're all locked because they can fling open and then you'll lose everything when you're going around a corner. Now, let's talk about power system. So you have 3 ways to power an RV. If you've done an RV, you kind of already know this, but I'm just gonna go over it real quick. Number 1, these are built to be off-grid. So you can go out and you can camp and you cannot be plugged in and be away for a week. But you're gonna have to watch on your power consumption. So the first way to power your rig is batteries. This rig has actually 2 batteries. Those batteries are charged by the solar, and they're charged by the generator. The third way is you plug it in. So you're plugging it into a campsite, you're plugging it into somebody's house. So you have your battery power that runs the whole rig. You've got your generator that runs all of the high voltage parts, like your normal plugs, your microwave, your air conditioning. That's all covered through the 110 volt, which is the only way you get that is either you're plugged into a house or a campsite, or you have the generator running. But everything else, the refrigerator, the stove, the sink, the water, everything else is run off of 12 volt battery, which is charged by the solar panel or the generator charging it. So right now everything's working except for the microwave because we haven't turned on the generator. And you also can't just plug into a normal house outlet. There's a few in here, you can't plug those in until you've got your generator running or you're plugged into a house. All right, let's walk around a little bit more. Got a couple light switches. You'll learn as you go. I believe one of those is outside light.
Yeah, that one is outside.
That's the outside light, and then this is the main light in here. There's also a lot of push button. So you have your push buttons. Okay, your stove, super easy to light. You throw it in right here. And we actually have the propane turned off, so I'll show you how to turn on the propane. That's how you would start your stove. Your sink. We might actually have the water turned off, and we're gonna find out right now. Nope, we have the water turned on. It works like a normal sink, and I'll show you how to turn that on and off also. Watch the glass, obviously. Refrigerator down below. A lot of times people can't open it, it's because that's open or closed. You pull up and you pull out. There is a little dial way back in here, right here, and that does kind of move. 7 will freeze everything in there. So we normally have it set at like a 5. All right, you have your little freezer. It's a good size. It's not great, but it's good. All right, moving back. You have got a TV. The TV only works when you are hooked up to a 110. Which again is the generator or being plugged in. Notice right here, it's plugged into a regular plug. So those plugs only work when you have the generator running. You also have a powered antenna. So if you want to watch like TV from normal channels, there's a little button here, turns green. So if you're not getting any sort of reception, it's because that's turned off. The stereo is self-explanatory. You can set up your Bluetooth to it. It also has speakers on the outside. Haven't quite figured it out yet, but there is zones, and so you hit the zones and that'll do outside, inside, both. And you can kind of figure that out as you go. Since we're up here, why don't we go up to the vent? This is what I use most to make everything so comfortable. I hold this button down till it beeps. And that'll keep it at 78 degrees. That runs off of your battery. That's a great way to keep it nice and comfortable in here and not have the generator running. All right, AC is right up here. AC only runs when you're plugged in or you've got your generator running. More storage. This bed does come together. I'm not going to show you right now, but it's got these bars that are hiding all over the place. I think 2 of them slide out. You see them, Brooke? Has these bars right here that slide out.
Well, that's the only one that slides out, and the other 2 are under. Here, pull this side up. There's one there. Oh, and then there's another one.
So there's only one really that.
So that one will hook in right here and right here. And then
this bed piece, or the table slash center, will then go straight here.
On top.
On top. These are the
table
for
legs.
the table, so if you want to have a table, you throw these on.
And then the table
sits right on top. This is the table right here. That's the table right here. So it acts as either the base for the larger bed or as the tabletop.
And then your topper for the larger bed would be the pillows that are sitting on top of the beds. But you can use it as 2 twin beds as well.
You also have storage down here. All right. These beds do have, I don't know what you call it, Brooke, a chase lounge.
Yeah.
So you can lift them up and kind of sleep sitting up, or you can go all the way down. Okay, so here is the guts of the RV power system. So let me get over on, you got it, Brooke? You go over here so you can zoom in. Okay, we're gonna go top to bottom. This is your solar charger. You don't do anything with it. It's gonna light up all different colors. See how we're full right now? It's gonna light up all different colors when it's charging. You never turn it off, you never touch it. Here's your inverter. Now, earlier I said that you can't watch TV unless you have a generator. Well, you do have an inverter. This turns your 12 volt car battery into 110 volt. And if I remember right, you can play your TV now, and you can play some, maybe not the microwave, but you can turn pretty much everything else on. You can use your plugs and everything by using this inverter. We're gonna leave it on now, and we'll check it as we go. Coming back down, this is your heating system. This is how you heat and keep everything hot. So, it's not your air conditioning, it's for heating. So basically you have all these different settings. Okay, so we're gonna go setting by setting. So, see how that's blinking? That is for the temperature in the rig. So I will push the button in. I will set it to 60, let's just say 64, and I'll press again. So you're all set, you're at 64. This is for your water. So I'm gonna go over 64. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Now I want to, see if I can go back again. It's not the greatest system, but it works fantastic. So we just set the temperature. Now we're gonna go to the water. Right now it's set at eco. Now it's set at hot, and now it's set at boost. That's if you want it to work really fast. So this is how you do your water. So it's this little guy, this little emblem right in here. I'm gonna go ahead and set it at hot. I'm gonna press the button. This will continue flashing until it's ready to have the hot water. So sometimes it takes as much as a half an hour depending on how cold it is outside. All right. So we had for the coach for keeping you warm at night, this would be your furnace. And then this is gonna, so you've got your furnace, you've got your hot water. This, I don't really move it too much. You've had all these options. I like to just leave it on gas because you technically could set it up to work on electrical, but I don't mess with that because I want you to be warm the whole time. And this is just your fan. So when the heater does turn on, you can go eco or high. The reason you would change them is if you're off grid and you want to just conserve on some battery, you would go eco so that the fan was never blasting, but it'll still keep you warm. And that's pretty much all the different settings. And then to turn it off, sometimes you'll have an issue, and I'm gonna try to turn it off right now. Sometimes you'll have an issue and nothing's reacting. So if you hold down that button, it'll turn off. So if it's in the middle of the night, you're freezing, it's not working, the best way to reset the system is turn it off and then hold the button and it'll turn back on. And then again, you would reset it to wherever you want. Just make sure you press the button to make it go. Okay, here is your generator. This generator runs off of the gas that's in your rig. So if you're under a quarter tank on the driving gas, this will probably not work. It's a one button start. So I'm gonna go ahead and press start. And it'll take about, I don't know, about a minute before it actually kicks on, and we'll hear it in a little bit. So it's going through the process of the startup. Again, you would stop it just by pressing the button 2. Here's your water pump. So if the water's not working in the shower or the sink, this is your water pump. So on and off. Tank levels, fresh water empty, LP gas, which is your propane, half, gray waste empty, black waste empty, and obviously it'll go full when it's full. Battery level, chassis battery voltage, it says 0, so that's probably because something's not turned on the front. House battery, house is the what we're working off of right now. It's at 12.9. That's a good number. Okay, going over here, if you're in very cold weather, Brooke, if you're in very cold weather and you don't want your tanks to freeze and then you can't dump them, you would turn this on. It does go through a lot of power, so you want to only be using that when it's freezing outside. This is our gas and it's turned on, but I'm going to show you another one, and I think that one's turned off, and that's why the stove wasn't working. You have these everywhere. So you have the USBs and the regular 12 volts everywhere. So just be looking for those anywhere.
The USBs are going to be working all the time.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the generator so you can hear me better. So I'm just gonna press stop and it turns off.
Let's see what that meter button does.
Oh, the meter? I don't know. It's when, I think it's when you're actually running the generator, it'll show you some things. Okay, so that's everything here.
Light switches?
Light switches. That is a two-way switch, so it hits, this is the other switch that goes up here. And then this one should be this is the backlights. Okay, we will do this. We will do the shower when we go on the outside. I think that pretty much wraps it up on the inside. Let's walk outside.
Oh, you want to show us the stove gas?
We're gonna do that outside.
Okay.
Okay, this you'll never use. This is an additional solar panel. Here is your hookups. If you want to do some cable hookup, you can do it here. Also, if you want to fire up like a inflator for inner tubes or anything that you would use on 12 volt, you can do that here. These are your outside power hookups. Again, these plugs will only work if you have the generator running, the inverter running, or it's plugged in to a house. All right, I guess we'll show the bathroom now. The ladder's there for maintenance. There's really nowhere for you to be upstairs, so don't use the ladder unless it's an emergency, and then you just text us with any questions. So the water turn on and turn off. There's a secondary water turn on, turn off right here. Nope, I'm sorry, coming down here. There's another water pump turn on, turn off here. I believe this is the outside light on this side. This is where you can hook up another hose, which is going to be I'll find one, but you can hook up another hose to here for spraying off your feet. This is this light here. Again, you have another 12 volt plug here. And then again, these are only working when you have the inverter, generator, or you're plugged in. All right, so I'm gonna take all these hoses out with me right now. Toilet works like this. Let's see, how does this toilet work? There's a foot depress. You press it halfway, fills up with water, full, empties it. It's like a regular toilet. This is this light. You also have a vent up here. It pushes up, pulls down. Pushes up, pulls down. And then you got your little fan button. Shower, just works like a normal shower. I'm not gonna turn it on, you'll get all wet.
But you do want to make sure that your doors are closed when you're showering so that the inside doesn't get wet. There you go. You have cabinets.
Yeah, you're gonna think that it's weird that you have cabinets in the shower, but it doesn't spray so much and it is waterproof. Just make sure they're closed. And if the water gets on it, the water gets on it because that's how the shower's built. All right, moving on back.
Oh, let's look at those shades. This is where you're going to the bathroom, so you need some shades.
They're on magnet and privacy.
And that's your toilet paper holder, and that'll keep your toilet paper dry when you're showering.
You also have a secondary lock in case you don't want anybody opening up the door. You can lock it from the inside when you're taking a shower. Great, let's walk around.
And then there's an extra hose there to hose out your toilet, hose down in here if you need it, or outside.
All right, walking around. You pay for a service of us sanitizing. Please don't use this. There's a lot of things that can go bad when you're doing the black waste tank flush inlet. This is flushing out your poop tank. Don't use it. Actually, I might put something hard for you to, so you can't open it, but don't use it. This is for all your whole heating system. Don't touch this, it's gonna be hot. So this will be running anytime you're heating water or doing the furnace. All right, you've got two different places for the water to hook up. Tank fill, city fill. So, when you take off before your trip and you wanna have lots of water in your tanks, plug that in, plug this in, turn on the water. Do not leave, stay here until it is full. You can keep checking on the inside. Don't leave because it's gonna pressurize the system and you don't wanna over pressurize the tank. So just have this on, turn it on, hook this up to a spigot, turn it on. When it's full, you should get a reading, and then, you know, I'll just unscrew it. Now, when you're at a campsite and you just want to have continuous water, that's when you use the city fill. City fill will not fill up your tanks that are in the rig. City fill will just pressurize the system so you can have unlimited showers, and you know, you're not filling up. You're not using all your tank water. We converted this lower one. You won't ever use this guy right here because it's kind of a half dump hose, so there should be nothing in there. Okay, so let's just say you're at a campsite and you want to have full power. You want to get the 110, the house power and everything. You'll plug this in. Tighten this up, and then you'll plug this in to the campsite. 30 amp campsite. There's a couple other adapters. You plug this into a campsite. Another cable inlet if you want to use cable at the campsite. All right, now go down here. This is why our propane wasn't working, because I had turned it off when we filled up the propane. So you have two different ones. There's one exactly like this on the inside of the rig. There's one like this on the outside of the rig. So if you can't get any propane, stove's not working, furnace isn't working, it's because that's not turned on. So now it's turned on. Now all the propane is going to be running into the rig. All right. I believe that's everything.
Oh, drain.
So I apologize, I missed the very most funnest part of RVing, which is your drain. Now you have, a lot of RVs have two drains, 1 and 2. This one has one. This is your black and your gray. Watch out, there might be a little bit of teeny bit of water that comes out, we're gonna see. Nope, it's dry. You would take this cap off. Stay here. You will then take this hose, which is in the back, and you will spin it on. Move back, Brooke, for me a second. Then you'll take this, you'll put it into the dump. Normally put a rock or something on the top of it. There's almost always a rock or something around so it doesn't force. Have your significant other or son or daughter or whoever stand on it. And then move back here. You have two valves, and they're identified. Gray, and then black. This is your gray. Gray would be your shower. Black is gonna be your toilet. Basically, you're gonna pull this valve out. I'm gonna pull the gray because it's okay if gray empties into the grass. We basically pull the gray out. Now you want to do the black first because that's going to empty out the toilet and everything, all the gross stuff. And then you'll close it, and then you pull out the gray, and the gray is the shower water. It'll rinse out your hoses and everything. Make sure they're closed. Come over here, pop this open, rinse it out. There's normally a place to rinse out, and you're done. Throw the cap back on it. All
Now,
right.
if you don't want to do that, we do charge you for doing it for you, and that is your option. But otherwise, we will check and make sure that it's all clean.
All right, so I hope that answers most of your questions. If there's anything that comes up during your trip, don't hesitate to text us. If we get your text at midnight, we're gonna answer it. So you let us know, but have a great trip. See ya.